All right, Don, thanks so much for joining us. Good to see you as always. I think watching the media breathlessly cover the Hunter Biden story today is the gaslight of the century. They are screaming to the American people that we cover both sides. See what we do? We do it all. And they're so proud of themselves. And in reality, as you and I know, this is just a distraction from the real Biden scandal. And I think everybody should be able to see that.
Well, 100%, Rob. It's the scandal that no one's even spoken about. I don't know that I've seen, other than perhaps on Newsmax, a second of airtime about the $10 million that Joe and Hunter magically pocketed from corrupt foreign entities. And that's the thing. I mean, I tweeted about this earlier, Rob. Imagine living in a country where the leader openly tries to send the opposition leader to prison while giving his clearly corrupt son, who has no business as an international business person, let alone someone making tens of millions of dollars, a sweetheart deal to avoid prison time and to keep the grift going. I mean, I would really hate to mess up the 10% for the big guy, but does anyone really believe that that's not exactly what this is, a sweetheart deal protecting the son of a corrupt regime?
It's amazing, and they want to send your father to prison for the rest of his life for a crime that Biden himself has clearly committed, by the way.
Well, he did it, yeah. But not only that, but Trump also, as president, had the ability to declassify that. And they want to send him away to jail for 450 years. Now, his son can have gun crimes, tax evasion crimes. I remember when the DOJ targeted a pro-life pastor with a 25-person SWAT team because he was pro-life. But Hunter Biden can magically do these things, and he can get a cush plea deal and not actually get away with anything. I mean, he lied on a gun form. He forgot to pay millions in taxes. I'm sure that was not that. But, again, if you're a Democrat donor, it's not a problem. I mean, I can think of all the people that have. Imagine I committed the crimes that Hunter Biden did. You think I'd get the same deal, or would I be in Gitmo right now?
Right, and your CFO is in Rikers Island for petty tax crimes.
That's literally never been prosecuted.
Right. An old man,
right? Because that's how ridiculous it is, right?
It is.
Kodak Black, they wanted to put him in 3 years for prison for a weapons charge like that. Wesley Snipes, how much did they want to put him away for tax evasion? These are people that would not get the same beneficial treatment that Hunter Biden has, and that's pretty apparent. We live in a two-tiered system of justice. There's one for the Democrat elite and one for everyone else.
And they don't care if you realize it or not. They're above that at this point. They think they can just they win elections no matter how corrupt they appear. The max penalty for unlawful possession of a gun is 10 years. Hunter's going to get 0. Here is how the media sees the deal that Hunter got.
This is not some sweetheart deal, but this is pretty standard. All in all, this seems like a very fair resolution.
I mean, can you fathom saying that with a straight face?
If you're the marketing department of the home team, it seems like a very fair resolution. Ask that to all the people who are withering away in prison on lesser gun charges. Again, you think that if I would have thrown away after illegally purchasing a firearm and then discarding it in a garbage can outside of a high school, you think I could walk away with no jail time? But that's the reality. Trump, my father, was right about all this. They're going to throw something super minor at him to make it seem like there's a fair justice system, to make it seem like the stuff against him isn't garbage and nonsense. And I think, honestly, at this point, the American people see it. They're going to do this so they can say, oh, no, we charged him. They'll never even look at the millions of dollars coming in from corrupt foreign entities that, magically came to Joe Biden. He earned $17 million. We've seen him speak, so it wasn't on a speaking tour. He's incapable of that and has been for quite some time. No one even cares where the money came from, Rob. No one even wants to know. They refuse to look at it. They just say, let's see what happens. We'll kick the can down the road. Maybe we'll get control of Congress, and all of this stuff will magically go away, basically like these charges just did.
It's something else. I want to point out just a couple things before I get to the last question here. Your father was on Fox last night talking about classified documents. Left-wing Twitter went wild. Rob Reiner saying he admitted to committing federal crimes. Christina Pelosi, whose mother obviously enriched her entire family through insider trading, saying that I don't like watching the former guy ever, least of all on Juneteenth, she says, but he just confessed to a crime of stealing classified documents. Your father's case has been fast-tracked to August 14th. That's a week before the first primary debate. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think, of course it is. I mean, I think it's very clear that the entire mission of permanent Washington, I'm not even saying Republican or Democrat at this point, I'm talking about the bureaucracy, I'm grouping in the rhinos with that, is to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't run. I think Tucker Carlson nailed it perfectly. Trump committed the cardinal sin of going against permanent Washington, their endless wars that keep all of them rich while destroying our nation, while giving up everything that we fought so hard for as a country, while putting America last. The policies of this administration are doing that. And most of the rhino Republicans in Washington are just fine with that, as long as it doesn't affect their board seat at Raytheon someday. That's why they don't want Trump. It could be anyone but Trump, because they know they can't control Trump. And they certainly can't control Trump now, because now he understands what exactly they have done, what they'll throw at him. And he goes back into Washington with 4 years where he doesn't have to get reelected, he doesn't have to make any friends, and he can clean house. That is the greatest fear of the deep state and permanent Washington, and that includes the Republican rhinos, of which there are many, Rob.
And it makes you wonder what they're going to concoct in 2024 to try and keep him out. Don Jr.
I'm sure they'll do a lot.
Yeah, good to see you, sir. We appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thanks, you too.